Hello, Chinloo. Thank you so much for being with us here today.
It's a pleasure. Thank you for inviting me.
Could you please start off by introducing yourself?
I'm Chinloo Lama. I'm a user experience designer at Dassault Systèmes. I'm part of the SolidWorks R&D team.
Could you tell us, when did you first hear about 3D printing?
In 1999, I started my first job, and it was with Polaroid. At the time, 3D printing was a novelty, and I remember we were considering it as a prototyping tool. So I remember diving into it. There was stereolithography, there was sintering, so it was very much an exploration, but as you know, the accuracy and the precision was nowhere near what we need to process film and work with optics. So we were introduced to it, but we used it very lightly in the projects.
Well, now you're with SolidWorks, so could you tell us a bit more about your work with SolidWorks R&D?
So I started working on software interaction. So a lot of the things that I developed and helped design had to do with how people interact with using our software, helping them do things easier. And I'm at the point where I consume the product that I helped design, and that's what I've been doing for the last 2 years. If you don't have a good design, in fact, we know in 3D printing, you could end up wasting time, material, everything. So having that forethought, doing that digital exploration before you actually push print is critical. So,
knowing how much you work with 3D printing, what would you say is one misconception that people have about 3D printing?
I've often heard that 3D printing is really just for prototyping. That to me is probably the biggest misconception because of how I've used 3D printing nowadays. And also what I've seen other people, what they can do.
In your opinion, would you say that the technology is accessible?
I think for a long time it wasn't, but I think we are at the cusp. I do feel like there's an opportunity now.
How important is the role of women in additive manufacturing?
Specifically for 3D printing, I really think that industry needs more female voices and women who can give a perspective that is more diverse than what's already there. I've already known so many women who are in this industry, and they're making such great changes and input and influence. So yes.
There are some really great projects out there, and as you said, we're 50% of the population. So.
Exactly.
Could you tell us more about your Magic Wheelchair project, and how does it change people's lives?
So Magic Wheelchair is a nonprofit organization, but the idea for them is that they want to inspire children or help these kids in wheelchair have a different perspective of life and connect them with people who can bring that reality to them and just lift them up. When these kids go out on the streets in their wheelchair, instead of being greeted by indifference, they are now being seen with their costume as superheroes and like cool kids to connect with and engage with and like having just regular conversations. And for us who get to make these incredible costumes, it just lifts our spirit and it rejuvenates us with a new sense of purpose. And also we get to test out all sorts of cool fabrication tools, including 3D printing and what they can do to make these costumes come to life.
It sounds incredible. What a great experience for the kids, for you guys, as you said, the families, everyone. What trends do you anticipate will change the way we manufacture in the coming years?
So I do think that this idea of diving deeper into 3D printing, for example, adding modifiers in CAD, you can actually put multi-body parts. You can design it so that you can embed different shapes within other shapes. And there's a lot of exploration both by us and other people in the field in adjusting different aspects of the print fill to do what they need. To add to that, I feel like in general, being able to think about materials, being able to find materials that will have a fully recyclable life cycle. So full cycle material recycling and also just this modifier usage. Those are the two trends I really am seeing going forward, but I really hope is going forward.
And they're two trends that are really only possible with 3D printing.
Yeah, and CAD. Yeah, exactly.
Thank you so much, Chinloo, for being here with us today. It was an absolute pleasure.
Thank you.